Through His words, God always says to us, "Do not be afraid, I will be with you." Let us look into God's great promise given to us who are living in these days when He said, "I will be with you," in the book of Matthew chapter 28. Matthew chapter 28 verse 18, it says, "Then Jesus came to them and said, 'All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age.'" Aren't we the ones who have received a promise as great as this? "And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." To whom did God grant this promise? This was the promise given to those who go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything God has commanded us. What church conducts baptism in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit? And who are the ones that were baptized in that church? It is the World Mission Society Church of God. And aren't they our Zion family members who are here at this moment? We are the ones who receive the promise that is greater than that of Abraham. We receive the promise that is greater than the promise given to Noah. We receive the promise that is greater than the promise given to Moses. However, we don't fully realize who we really are. We really don't know who we are. If God already made this promise, it is a promise that can never be broken or go unfulfilled. If we don't fully realize who we are and regard the holy mission that God has bestowed on us as something small and trivial, then God's work of appointing Gideon, Joshua, and Moses would all be meaningless, wouldn't it? Couldn't we say that even appointing us would also become meaningless? God already made the promise with the children of Mother, calling them the children of promise, and said, "I will be with you always to the very end of the age. Therefore, never what? Never be afraid. I will be with you. Do not fear the reproach of men. Do not be terrified by their insults. I will be with you and I will help you." Considering these words, can't we say that our gospel is already preached in Samaria and to the ends of the earth? All that we need to do now is simply go and do what we should do. By this, the gospel will blossom in those places and many fruits will be born. Wouldn't you agree that there will surely be gracious results a second and even a third time? Some say we can't because of this situation. Others, we can't because of that situation. God already prepared everything to be accomplished, but what if we don't do it? We will not be able to see any of the great work of God if we are afraid and tremble with fear and don't carry it out. Last time I mentioned the seed from Masada. The seed couldn't sprout for 2,000 years. But once it received water, from that moment on, an amazing and wonderful miracle started to take place. Finally, a green sprout started to grow from that seed. It grew more and more until it became a tree. And from that one single seed, there came tens or hundreds of fruit. Without having a beginning, it would have remained as just one single seed even after 2,000 or 3,000 years. Only when we begin something, we will be able to witness a change and achieve the result that God has promised. Remove the fear in your hearts and depend on God for all things. But what did God say? God said He will be with us. God worked alongside David. He was with Solomon, with Joshua, with Peter, with Paul, and also with John. In that same way, God is now with us. He grants us the abilities needed and works alongside us in order to fully accomplish the holy mission given to us in Matthew 28. We will surely be the witnesses to a great miracle. By this, I would like to conclude the sermon today. Thank you very much.